Well, I understand you are a Star Trek fan.
Absolutely.
That certainly was a show inspired, a utopian future inspired by technology. I'm curious, what about that show shaped your vision of an optimistic future?
I was a sucker for Star Trek when I was a kid. Even though when you look back, I think there are only 20 episodes, right? They just looped over and over again, but they were always fun to watch. What made the show, I think, lasting was it wasn't actually about technology. It was about values and human relationships. And which is why it didn't matter that the special effects were kind of cheesy and bad, right? They'd land on
anyone?
or they'd land on the planet, and you remember there's all this paper mache boulders sitting there, but it didn't matter because it was really talking about a notion of a common humanity and a confidence in our ability to solve problems. And you know, a recent movie I think captured the same spirit, The Martian. I mentioned that as my favorite movie last year, not because it had a hugely complicated plot, but it showed a bunch of different people just trying to solve a problem and employing creativity and grit and hard work and having confidence that if it's out there, we can figure it out. And I do think that what I love most about America, this country, why it continues to attract people from all around the world for all the challenges that we face, is that spirit of, well, we can figure this out. And what I value most about science is this notion that we can figure this out. Well, we're going to try this. If it doesn't work, we're going to figure out why it didn't work, and then we're going to try something else. And we will revel in our mistakes because that is going to teach us how to ultimately crack the code on the thing that we're trying to solve. And if we ever lose that spirit, then we're going to, I think, lose what's essential about America and what I think is essential about being human.
Can I say one? Yeah, I think the only thing I would add, I totally agree. I love the optimism, but I also think that it's amazingly, the Federation's very diverse, the crew's very diverse. It's a bunch of diverse group of people, and the bad guys aren't usually evil. They're just misguided or broken, and so it's a much more optimistic view of humans as well, you know, and then a lot of shows that are about, you know, superheroes or evil, and the struggles are kind of wonderfully sort of balanced.
Well, I think that's right. I think Star Trek, like any good story, says that we're all complicated and we all got a little bit of Spock and a little bit of Kirk and a little bit of Scotty and maybe some Klingon in us, right? But this is what I mean about figuring it out. Part of figuring it out is being able to work across barriers or differences. And look, there's a certain faith in rationality tempered by some humility, right? Which is true of the best art and the best science and the best literature. A sense that we possess these incredible minds that we should use, and we're still just scratching the surface on them, but we shouldn't get too cocky and remind ourselves that there's a lot of stuff we don't know.